Hello to all of you. I wanted to give you a live message today on YouTube and Facebook to wish you a happy feast day. With desire, I have desired to eat this Pasch with you before I suffer. These words that we heard Monday and yesterday, Wednesday, in the Passion of Luke, he sounded very special this year. Indeed, we all wanted to share this Pasch all together. But unfortunately, it is not possible today. It is not possible because of the current situation. But we have to remain all united together. That's why we are live streaming these masses and these Triduum. It is an opportunity for us to think about how am I going to live these 3 days? How am I going to, in a very special way, be united to my community, be united to the priests who are celebrating Mass, and to be united with whole Christendom. Every single Catholic on earth is going through the same thing. And I would say we are the luckiest. As I mentioned, since you've known me, we have been spoiled in many ways possible, because now that we are in difficult times, now that we cannot have access to Mass, we cannot have Masses, access to the Eucharist, we share a little bit what our brothers in the Middle East have known for a long time. And you know that I preach a lot about this because we suffer, and I said especially that when I read what they go through, what they went through, especially for the last 5 years, I suffer deeply, because I see that they were suffering, not having the chance to go to Mass, not having a chance to see their priest. It means not having a chance to go to confession, to talk to a priest, to have a priest who can share and comfort them. And this made me very sad. But in the meantime, we are united because we belong to the same community, the Holy Catholic Church. And this is very important for us to remember that. In this difficult time, we have also another opportunity to think about, and I was talking about that before the crisis to some of you, how amazing it is to read the story of this Japanese Catholic who remained without priest for 250 years. Could you imagine that? Japan is the only country where we can admit the church failed. Jesuits went to evangelize, suffered in their flesh, in their soul. Flesh because they have been persecuted, murdered, killed, and in their soul because they had to leave Japan. And you can imagine how they felt at the time. They had no choice than to go away. When a priest cannot remain with his flock, whatever flock is, whatever situation, it can be in an easy parish, in difficult parish, he has the same sentiments. He is very sad. Sad because he had no choice than to leave. Unfortunately, in my life, I had this situation in which I was in a little village, and some of the people were watching, because I know that they watch either YouTube or the Facebook page of the Institute. They know that I'm talking about them. I spent half a year in a little parish with 150 souls, 80 children. I knew their names individually, because as a great opportunity and a great grace that I have, and which is very rare, believe me, it's very rare, when a priest has access to every single soul in his parish, and he remembers them as an individual by calling them by name. And this is exactly what I feel when I read the passage of the Good Shepherd in the Gospel. God knows every single one of us, of course, by name. And when I was in this little village in Canada, in Quebec, to be very precise, I had this grace to know every single one by name. And I stayed 6 months with them. And I know that I had no choice than to leave. And this made me very sad. And I can feel also the sadness that still have remained in me. And I know that some of them are very sad that I had no choice than to leave. It is independent from themselves. It was not in my choice, but some people made a choice that it was not possible. So I know I lived what it is. And this year, everything is coming back to my memory, because unfortunately, I'm about to start the celebrations of the Holy Triduum. And I will remember all of you and all of them in these ceremonies. First, because you will be there. Not only because you're going to watch this live streaming, but also you'll be there because, you are all in my prayers, of course. And I remember all of you at the memento at Mass, of course. But this year is going to be harder because you don't have any access. And I don't have any access to you, only through this. Of course, some of you are able to come for our confession, so then I see you, but it's very brief. I'm in contact with you because we communicate through emails also. And so I'm grateful, and I thank all of you who send me their pictures getting ready for Mass. And some others, they send me their family pictures after Mass, saying that we are still there. And so, like, it's a great sign, I believe, because so it's making us what we are. We're Catholic. It means we are a community. You call me Father. It means I have, and I am in a very special way, your Father. But I cannot be your Father if you're not there. And it's difficult. And how can you be daughters and sons far away from your Father, your spiritual Father, in the same way? We hope that we will be able to be all together and say our promise, and you know that we're going to do some things, of course. Once everything is over, we are all going to be together again, and so that moment is going to be very unique. That moment is going to be something like crazy, because it will be very special. And of course, we're going to celebrate in a very different way that we are used to celebrate it. So in Pismo Beach, for instance, we have this potluck from time to time. We're going to have it, and in a very different way. And so, hoping that we can be all together, celebrate, drinking and eating and sharing a glass of wine all together with the people in the Hollister also. Also, we were talking already before this crisis. What can we do in this summertime? And is having a barbecue in a park. We're going to have it, but it will be something very, very special. So I just wanted to share with you this moment. This moment, it is sad. We cannot avoid the reality, and the reality is this is sad. With desire, I have desire to eat this Pascha with you before I suffer. As a matter of fact, we are already suffering. But together, we are celebrating this feast day today. The first time our Lord Jesus Christ instituted Holy Mass. The first time, I'm sorry, not the first time, but yeah, of course, this is the first time, but so the apostles became bishops. Of course, our Lord started to say Mass the second he took flesh. And his Mass is going to last up to the resurrection. We are living, and we are going to live this ceremony tonight in a very special way. Because of this crisis, this Pascha, we're going to live it in our flesh, in a very special way, in a very special manner. So I want you, so that's why I wanted you to talk to you about that, to encourage you, because we can be more united than ever to our Lord Jesus Christ during this triduum. And we are all going to do, because this is unique moments, unique events that we have to grasp as much grace than we can from our Lord Jesus Christ, who is on our side, every single one of us, in a very special way, even more present. And that's why we feel it in our flesh. We feel it in our prayer. When we pray, we feel it because God does not want that. He doesn't want us to be far away. He knows that as we cannot be at Mass, receiving Him, His body, His blood, soul, and divinity, except me, of course, because I thank God that I am a priest, and He called me to do a special job, to continue what He gave us. But this is today a very great opportunity to, as we celebrate the institution of Holy Mass, the institution of the priesthood in which you participate. You cannot be sad today, even if you have a mix of sentiments. We are very joyful because we are living this Easter again. But in the meantime, we are very sad because it's difficult. But I wanted to encourage you and to say that don't worry, so everything is going to be fine. And so I encourage you to, as usual, and as you were all doing it, I'm sure, to attend this triduum, to make sure that you are ready to be united to all of us, and think about every single one of us, the community, your friends, the people even that you sit close by in the pews, and that normally you don't talk because you barely know them, So once we are going back together, I'm pretty sure we're going to take benefits of that. Seeing that the people that we see from a distance, the people that arrive late at Mass and leave as soon as the priest is out of the church, I'm pretty sure these people will stay a little while, will come earlier, because we're going to appreciate more everything that we have. That's why I started by to say that we are spoiled, because if food is available, I'm not looking for food. Once I do not have food, I'm searching for it. I want it, because it's a matter of survival. Now that you don't have the spiritual food, I mean in the Eucharist, you're going to appreciate it much more. And I guarantee, if you live this unique moment in that way, your life will change forever. Because once everything is back, that we can all be together, you're going to appreciate much and more the Eucharist every single time you take a Holy Communion to attend Mass. It's not, you cannot take it for granted anymore. You know that you haven't had that for a while. It's been a month, close to a month now, and it probably is going to be for another month too. We are the Holy Catholic Church. That's why we all suffer together. And this year, in a very different way, in a very special manner. That is important for us to remember that. That is important for us to be able to think about every single one here on earth who are suffering this. And then, in a very special manner, to share the sufferings of these Catholics in the Middle East who couldn't have Mass for months, if not years. And finally, they found a priest. Can you appreciate that? Their lives changed forever. So I wanted to share with you this message today. I'm available, and I wanted to let you know that in the Diocese of Monterrey, confessions are available. Call your priest. I'm pretty sure that you follow all of these messages that are given through the diocesan website, with all the messages given by Bishop Garcia. And this is very, very, very important. Also, I wanted to thank all of you who are sending their contribution to the church, because you know that church needs to live, to continue to live. And I know that some of you, they sent a contribution to the parish. And I will encourage all of you to do so, because priests are still living. We're not suspending our lives. We're not suspending our activities. So we received a letter, for instance, from the bishop, the chancellor, saying that we are essential workers. It means we are free to move within the boundaries, of course, of the limit where shelter-in-place is enforced. But we have this freedom, if we are pulled over or controlled by law enforcement, to say that we are doing an essential work. And there is nothing more essential than the church. Pray also. I know that in this country, some people are trying to find a legal way to reopen churches. And that should be the case. I think we are more essential than grocery stores. And so if grocery stores are opened, we should be open too. If grocery stores are providing natural food, we provide spiritual food. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you, and for all of you of your support. And I wish you, of course, a happy Triduum and a happy Easter. We're going to see each other through this media, and maybe I will send other messages. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful feast of the institution of the priesthood.